So a lot of people have asked about mental load, and
Great.
I wanted to have a conversation about mental load. I'm Kelsey, founder of Compleo. This is my husband, Warren, aka Mr. Compleo. And we've been talking a lot at home about kind of mental load, different things. And there's so much focus in the media, which I think is really important, on females' mental load or the mom's mental load. But there's not as much talk about the mental load that the partner's carrying also. And I think the person who carried the baby, definitely there's a huge mental load that we don't always realize or see. But I just also wanted people to hear from you on the partner's mental load.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up rather than me. You want to specify? Where should I start?
Where should you start? Maybe just speak to, like, what do you feel like is some unseen things as the partner going through the newborn phase?
Man, yeah, put me on the spot. Okay. I'm not prepared with like a 5-point checklist, but one of the things is definitely you just don't see how much the dads stress or fear, worry about providing overall, whether they are the primary breadwinner of the family or not. I mean, every father probably has this fear, and in this country, probably there's just little marginal difference that it makes to have a major impact on a family. That's always going to be on a father's mind, I think. Yeah, it is a big mental load. It's tough to deal with, and there really aren't many resources out there for any fathers to be looking for or looking into. It can feel like you're suffering in silence, and you feel like you're completely alone, and there's really no one. You don't think there's anyone to talk to. It's not easy.
Yeah, I think it's not easy. And I think something that you pointed out that's really true, like whether you're their primary provider or not, you wanted me to be able to have time off work. And since unfortunately we live in a country where paid maternity leave is not the norm, paid maternity leave is not the norm. And so just being able to prepare for having some unpaid time, yep, even if you do both work, I think that's something that you brought up that I never really, that I took for granted, that stability that we're lucky enough to have. I think from like a mental load perspective, it's also really good to open up the conversation. We recently had a long conversation about kind of what each of us are carrying and how hard that is. And there's just really not enough hours in the day to get everything done. And I think something that's really important that was an outcome of a conversation we had the other week was, one, just recognizing what the other person is doing. So just taking time instead of just pointing out what's not happening, just sit down and chat and be like, these are the things that I've been focusing and that are happening. And then asking what's a priority to you. So I think every new family struggles with this. Something we've been struggling as two working parents is just keeping our house put together. Not even
I'm already not the tidiest, and it only gets worse with the newborn, man.
So, I mean, just the way the dishes pile up and the laundry piles up and all of it piles up. And so something you suggested that I think was so helpful was what are small changes that we're going to make? And instead of just making a goal to have the entire house organized in 2 weeks, we've kind of started making a plan of just some day-to-day changes we can make to be more present. From tidying goals to just being more present. And so one goal we have is to put our phones away from 5 to 8. So from after working time until both kids are asleep so we can be present together. Is I think from a mental load perspective, that's also when things tend to fester. And when we tend to get frustrated with each other is when we're not making time to have conversations, yep, and time to be fully present. And so I think that was a really good thing, a really good tangible things people can take away is work is always going to be there, but carve out, you have to carve out time. the statistics for couples who don't carve out that time when their kids are little for them making it is not in our favor. But the statistics, if you really carve out that time to be intentional, then it really makes us happier in our relationship. What do you feel like are some other like unseen things that you struggle with as a caregiver?
No, I mean, I think you broadly spoken to it. I mentioned in one of the other little bits that I filmed. In the newborn phase, a lot of people focus on how they can make the life easier for the mother. Nobody's really thinking about how you can make it easier for the dad. And you know what? I'm perfectly open to the argument that maybe you shouldn't really have to focus on making it easier for the dad. But some ways that it can be made easier is like come up with some ideas to handle landscaping or lawn care, getting the cars taken care of, making sure they're maintained, that kind of stuff. At least in our family, those are my responsibilities. It is definitely easier when somebody else maybe does the lawn or handles car maintenance, that kind of stuff. It's just the little mundane day-to-day tasks that you don't really think about that take time or take effort or planning. Grocery shopping, coming up with lists, making sure everybody's okay and happy with the meals that are being prepared. I mean, all that kind of stuff.
Though we did recently find out that AI can make you a great meal plan and a great grocery list. So if anyone's looking to save some time, I've been using Claude. I just literally ask it, hey, give me 3 recipes that an average American family of 4 would enjoy, simple and tasty. It cranks it out. I ask it to put it into a list that I can put into Google Keep. It does it and go about my way. Finding ways to become
and then we just
harder.
agree that whatever Claude cranks out and puts out for us, we're gonna eat. So Kelsey's not big about seafood. It gave us a salmon dish.
I had salmon the other night. It was great. Edible.
Yeah.
I think when you come to mental load, I think one of the things you've expressed that a lot of people also don't recognize with their partner is the amount of times you've been willing to help in the middle of the night, but so frustrated because he won't calm down for you. I think that is something that partners carry a lot, is like wanting to help, but not knowing how to help, or the baby only wants the person who carried them, like only wants their mom. And it takes more time for you to like find what calms him down. And
right. Yeah, that's a great point. And I'm not real pleased about it in the middle of the night, as most people might agree. Yeah, it's difficult.
I think that's another unseen challenge, because you'll be trying so hard to let me get some sleep. And then the second you pass him off to me, he just like...
Yeah, immediately falls
We have a
asleep.
lot of people who've been trying to get him to take a nap this afternoon, and he wouldn't do it until I grabbed him. So I definitely think that is really a mental load for both me and you, because you want to help and can't. And then for me, it's really exhausting to feel like I'd never get a break.
She has to bear the burden yet again, but not because I don't want to help. It's because the baby wants mommy.
Yeah, so that's definitely...
Yep.
And I think one of the biggest things about mental load is just not being scared to ask people for help or to talk about it.
Absolutely. Men in general don't like asking for help. It's very uncomfortable. I mean, but you can't do it alone. You just can't. Yeah,
I think both of us are bad at waiting till like we're about to reach a breaking point. We just both try to carry so much instead of asking for help from each other or a counselor, parents who've been there. Like there's church groups, whatever your village or your support system looks like, there are lots of avenues to even just talk about it, even if...
Yeah, just talking with your buddies about it. I mean, most likely if they're in the stage of life that you're in, they probably are experiencing some of the same things. It's definitely uncomfortable to talk about, but if you do, I bet you start feeling better. Your buddies are sharing the same kinds of things.
Yeah, and if everyone has just different small tips that helped them, you put all that together and I think that has helped me the most is like getting to work with a staff full of working moms. And we don't always come up with a solution. Like we all agree that it sucks to find time to pump out work. that it really stinks that I don't think any of our babies are sleeping well right now, and we're all working full time. And so I don't know if we've necessarily come up with any solutions, but knowing that we're not alone has been really validating.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. I mean, knowing that what you're going through is common definitely helps, because sometimes you do feel like you're the only person on planet Earth that's experiencing this, and that there aren't any solutions, and it's just not the case.
Yeah. And then I think a lot of the things that I experienced with mental load have become, I really wanted to hear your perspective because that's what's not talked about. I think not that I'm not experiencing a high mental load, but there is so much out there about the struggle of being, I think one of the biggest ones for me is just being touched out. Like, we're breastfeeding 100% of the time. Our 5-year-old, like...
He's all over everybody. No concept of personal space. He's in everyone's face.
Sweet. Yeah. It's really adorable. And like, I love that he feels that hard, but having him constantly be laying over us is just, it's like just being like a touched out, tapped out, and like overstimulated. I've been very overstimulated. And then kind of the usual trying to manage working. We woke up from our nap. Working and schedules, like childcare. I think that's been a really hard one to navigate, is like just making sure we have childcare for every single event for both kids. Which days we have hot lunch. It all sounds like really easy things. But it's proven that a mom's brain is already not working at full capacity. And so then just keeping all these logistics is
you
really
mentioned
difficult.
Lunches. And like there have been times I open the refrigerator like, I got to send my kid with grapes. we have forgot the grocery trip this week. We have nothing else to feed the kid. What are we going to do?
Yeah, we put together some interesting lunches the past couple of weeks. But Claude is going to help us. Claude and his grocery list are going to help us. So, well, thanks for chatting. Are they going to know the date? Are they going to know the date this video is filmed? Because you talk about mental load in the middle of serious market turmoil. Like, that adds to it, man. Yeah, it does. It adds. I just would like to use this conversation as a chance to encourage you to reach out to friends, family, comment. There's lots of great counseling resources out there, and just start the conversation. I don't have all the answers. We haven't come up with all the answers, but we've had just having the conversation has helped us a ton. Yep. And so I just would encourage you, whether it's with your partner or someone else, to start that conversation and have the conversation with your partner also. That's going to be much more productive than just complaining to a friend about how they don't do X, Y, and Z for you, or how they don't understand X, Y, and Z. Like, definitely take the time to verbalize it and work on it together. But it's okay if you've got those. So if that's all you've got, like, it's okay to have those conversations. It is. But it's not fair to not tell you. Guys have to start somewhere. If that's where you're starting, fantastic. Talk about it. So, all right. Comment below. Heavy starting point. What else? What's next? That's anything fun, funny? No? We need jokes, man. We got a cute baby.
We got some music coming out, some music videos.
Music? I like music. We got a cute baby out of it. So. Yes. Fan requested?
Oh, yeah.
We have fans?
Yeah.
All right. So comment below with your thoughts on the mental load and what's helped you. We'd love to hear from you, and follow for more.